Welcome to season 3, episode 2 of Forbidden Radio. My name is Luke, and I'm here with my co-host Noah. Angel is out tonight, but we're gonna have a good time anyway. Noah, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Feel rested. I've been hitting the gym. I'm been painting more, trying to write more. So I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I haven't gone to the gym. I don't plan on going to the gym. I don't paint nearly as much as I'd like to, and I don't like my day job. So awesome, all the way around. You know how it goes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
just
sir.
for clarification, why don't you tell everybody what it is that you like to paint? Because painting is a very broad term, and I know exactly what you paint, but why don't you inform our listeners?
Um, I'm a nerd, so I paint Warhammer figures. Little soldiers, little guys. In fact, I'm doing one right now. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of shit I'm into because it really helps me out with anxiety and stuff like that. I don't think I'll ever touch the game itself because that's just a lot of things for me to learn, and I get self conscious about that kind of stuff because it takes me a while to learn it. But painting, it's fun. I really like it. I enjoy it. So yeah.
I mean, I love painting minis. You've seen some of the minis that I've painted. I
Mm-hmm.
usually paint them for like TTRPGs and less Warhammer, just because Warhammer is dumb expensive. And like I really admire the people that can sit down and paint like a squad of Space Marines like all the same color,
Uh huh.
but I can't do it. I need variety. I want to paint just this one person and then do a different one that's a different color scheme.
No, I feel that. I my army right now that I'm working on is Ultramarines. Right, you're the Smurfs basically, but I wanted to kind of mix it up, so I've started getting the Emperor's Children, which is a Chaos Legion. A lot of pinks, a lot of purples, a lot of blacks. And there's Slanesh, and Slanesh is the chaos god of excess. So, like the Cenobites, pleasure is pain, pain is pleasure. So it's a lot of jagged edges, tongues coming out. So it kind of it's a mix up from your typical poster boy Space Marines. So yeah,
I mean, Space Marines are like the classic like Warhammer army. Like that's like you said, they're the poster child. They're on all the stuff. They're on all the propaganda. If you were if you were to pick if you were to play the game, and I know you said you're not really interested, but if you were going to try to learn, what army would you want to pick? What faction?
I would start off with the Smurfs with the Ultramarines, but then I will probably pivot to Necrons. I like the Necrons like aesthetically too.
Necrons? I like the Necrons as well. They're very cool, and I've read up a little bit about their history and stuff, and they're just kind of kicking. I'm old enough to remember when Necrons were first released.
When they were the Chaos robots.
Um, but yeah, I like the Necrons, and when I was little, I was a big fan of the Eldar because Eldar are just space elves,
Yeah.
and then orcs. The war boys are awesome, and the fact that they can just believe something and it works.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was cool. And if we're going chaos, I would have to go with Papa Nurgle. He loves everybody.
Yeah, I like Nurgle. I think he's cool, but Corn is always gonna be like my big favorite just because it's just I love red too, and I love how that's kind of like your stereotypical demon like devil, you know. And it
Oh
just
yeah,
I love the aesthetic. I love the fact that corn for the corn dogs and shit like that. Like I love all that shit. I love the memes from that. Um, but I do
yep, for
love
the Blood
Zinch.
God.
Yeah, exactly. I love all that. But like I love all the chaos gods. But like if for me it's corn, Zinch, Nurgle, Slanesh. So that's my ranking for my love for the gods.
There's there's this channel on YouTube that does a bunch of songs based on like Warhammer factions and stuff like that. And I have one of their songs, "Embrace the Rot." That's their Nurgle song.
That's actually pretty cool. I like that.
It is awesome. I'll have to send you the link because it's a kicking good song.
Yeah, dude, I'm down. I'm always fucking down for that shit. You know what I like though? I like when the community takes Warhammer and they take it from being some ultra serious thing into like just memes, like just absolute fucking memes. Have you watched Text to Speech?
No, what's that?
It's called If the Emperor Had Text to Speech, where they install a text to speech device on the throne, and now he can actually talk. And it's just him catching up on like years of bullshit that the Imperium has gone through since he got put on the throne by Horus, and he's like, "What the fuck? Wait, what? You're doing what now? Wait a minute. You're not supposed to worship me like shit like that." and it's the funniest shit ever, dude. Um, I'll send you a link because the guy kind of had to stop making it because Games Workshop doesn't like when people take their stuff and make stuff with it, which is just like that's rich coming from Games Workshop, who's been known to just steal shit outright in terms of like their style and stuff like that. But um, yeah, dude, that series is fucking hilarious because I feel like
Yeah.
that's actually how the Imperium, like people in the Imperium, talk to each other because like we talk to each other not like super serious, you know. And I feel like
Oh yeah.
that's actually how they talk. Like they just like talk shit, do dumb shit all the time. You know, that's how I choose to believe. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. And it is crazy how like more and more, especially these days, like these large corporations that are so like super protective over their intellectual property they just feel so free to like take other people's IP and
Mm-hmm.
just use it for their own shit because like, oh, we're big and powerful and we've got millions of dollars. Like, what the fuck do we care?
Yeah, that actually leads into the topic that we were discussing before, which is Bungie stealing art from artists and using it in their games.
So why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown on that for anybody who doesn't know what's going on? I know a little bit about it, but I think that you are a little bit more informed than I am.
Yeah, sure. So I apologize. I kind of forgot the name of the artist, but I know that um, it was found out that Bungie's been taking assets from people, not paying them, and sticking them in their most recent game that they're working on called Marathon. Apparently, a lot of people who work on the game have actually been following this artist on Twitter, and they've been following. I think it's a woman for years now, and things that she's made has been stuck in the game, and she hasn't been credited, hasn't been paid. Apparently, it's been happening for like a decade, not just for her, but with other artists. When it comes to just video games in general, and yeah, people are really giving Bungie shit for it, and rightfully so. It's like, dude, you got bought what for 3 billion by Sony? You have the money to pay people. You know?
Yeah, the name of the artist is, and I hope that I'm pronouncing it right, Anti-Real.
Yes. There you go.
Um, but yeah, apparently a direct quote says, "Bungie is of course not obligated to hire me when making a game that draws
Mm-hmm.
overwhelmingly from the same design language that I have refined for the last decade."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that is just nuts. Like these companies that have the money, and like, I mean, I've never had any of my stuff bought by a large company, but it can't be all that much money in the grand scheme of things to pay an artist to license their work.
No, I mean, fuck. Eric and Armani pay people, and we're super fucking small. You know, if they could do it, fucking Bungie can do it. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and I'm sure like hiring cover artists, that's like a one-time payment. I'm sure like licensing like an art style or like if someone creates a text format that's like particular to like your game or your IP, like that's probably like a little bit different, a little bit more expensive, but still can't be that expensive.
No, and it like I said, like and you said, it's frustrating. These companies have money. They have money, but that money goes towards their the bonus checks of the people in charge. You know, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. And actually there was something I just saw on Book Talk about, and I don't have any of the details. It's something I saw at like 4 o'clock this morning when I was waiting to clock in at work. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any of the details. But there was a relatively well-known author that is being accused of like plagiarizing from like Wattpad, I believe.
Really?
Or no, it's not Wattpad, it's plagiarizing from fan fiction. So I think like there was fan fiction written about her world that she created and she just like ripped directly from that.
Damn.
So yeah, I was part of several fan groups of Dresden Files and Jim Butcher on Facebook, and it was specifically stated by the moderators because like Jim Butcher was actually like a part of the group.
Yeah.
Like he would occasionally like comment on things and read stuff and all that kind of stuff, which was really cool. It was like my first experience interacting with like an author that I was a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
But the moderators and Jim like specifically stated that he would not read any fan fiction that was posted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people were free to write fan fiction, but he would not read it because he didn't even want to be like accidentally influenced by anybody else's ideas and like accidentally like plagiarize someone else's work.
Yeah.
And like I know as an author, like I get influenced by a lot of things. You know, like I'll watch a movie, I'll be like, oh yeah, this could definitely work as something in like one of my stories. So I'll do like my version of that, or I'll take that original idea and then like mesh it with something else. Like I just recently watched um It's What's Inside and Talk to Me, which are two very different movies. Like one's horror and one's a thriller. But I had the idea of like kind of combining the two concepts of those movies into my own story, and I just like plotted the whole thing out. And I could definitely see like if I had my own world and people were a big enough fan, I would be tempted to read the fan fiction, but I would also not want the same thing to happen where it's like, yeah, they came up with something better than me, and now I can't use it.
Yeah. Yeah, that gets dicey. It's real dicey.
It But yeah, it's just crazy how rampant theft is, and you can't really talk about theft of creative works without talking about AI.
Yeah. Fucking AI. It's funny. A couple years ago, when I first got picked up by Forbidden Origins, everybody was like so enthusiastic and stuff like that, and I was using AI to make concepts of my characters for Manifest, but I didn't know that AI was stealing artwork from people to do it. Um, so I am currently sitting on like a bunch of these like concept art, this like concept art pieces that I made with AI of different characters, and I'm like, fuck, man, I want to post these in the originators chat, but I want to be like, guys, this is before I knew that it was stealing art because I don't want to look like an asshole. Um, but yeah,
I mean, yeah, like when like generative AI first came out and AI art first came out, like I didn't know. I didn't
mm-hmm,
know nothing about nothing.
mm-hmm,
And like I never used it for like helping me write anything because like I knew that was bad. Like this was written by a computer. I had no idea they were like scraping work from other artists. Like
mm-hmm.
I had no idea how they trained it. I never even thought about it. But you know, I definitely like played around with it and like had fake conversations with it and that sort of thing, just playing. And then all this other stuff came out about it, and I was like, oh, this is just straight up wrong.
Yeah,
And like it's really shitty because like AI is starting to take over like the creative side of life. Like I've seen these videos on like generated by prompts on TikTok that look like they were shot in a Hollywood studio.
mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy how we've gone from that Will Smith eating spaghetti video
Yeah,
that just looks fucking bananas to stuff that looks like better quality and more real than you and I look right now.
mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's
And like
wild.
that's yeah.
And what pisses me off though is how people are like, "Oh, Hollywood's in trouble." I'm like, nah. Yeah, this might look good on the surface, but the story, most of you guys can't write a story, right? Second of all, there's just no soul to it. If you put up an AI, like if you put up like 5 minutes of an AI movie compared to like a scene from any other movie that's been out for like decades at this point, you can see the difference. One has a human touch, the other one is a cold computer, you know, and it just doesn't feel right. So
Yeah, and I mean like sure, like AI can do amazing
yeah,
things in the creative sphere even though it shouldn't be doing it. It can do some stuff that looks really neat and you know all this other kind of stuff, but it's like you said, there is no soul to it. There's no nuance. There's no emotion behind it
mm-hmm.
because the AI doesn't have experience. It doesn't have experience.
Yeah,
It's never known love or loss or any of that kind of stuff. So all it's doing is imitating it, and that imitation, you know, you can feel it. You
mm-hmm.
can feel that imitation. It's just not genuine. It's like when somebody, you know, creates a piece of art for money rather than like passion for
Yeah.
whatever story that they're trying to tell. Like you can definitely feel the difference in it.
Yeah, no, you can. And not only that, too, just it's always one camera angle. It's always one camera angle, and it's just I don't know, man. I think AI should be used as a tool. It shouldn't be used like to make full out movies, TV shows, books, everything. It shouldn't be used for that. It should be used as a tool to help, like in the editing process, in my opinion. Make things look a little bit sharper, make things look a little bit brighter. You know, maybe help I don't know. I think I saw something that I think some Chinese developers for Adobe managed to make a 2D um like video into 3D, or not 3D, but like they were able to use AI to help like with the angle of the 2D video turn into a 3D one, and that's in the editing process. And I
Oh,
think
okay.
that's actually really fucking useful. That's what AI should be used for. It should be used as a tool, not as the entire canvas. You know. So.
Well, you see, the problem is now is that because of the way that the generative AI was created, now everything that comes from AI is like fruit from a poison tree, a fruit from a poisonous tree.
Uh-huh.
Um, Anything that you even mention AI, it becomes this huge, like, ethical and moral, like, conversation instead of like it's not just about what we should and should not use AI for, but whether or not we should be using it for anything at all because of the way that it came into being. And like AI has become so prevalent now that even just the suspicion of using AI for a book cover or like in writing your book, like any kind of suspicion whatsoever, and it turns into a giant witch hunt. And like I just like saw a TikTok the other day from an indie author. Like apparently now because I use large or archaic words that my book is entirely written by AI now. Like I don't know those words on my own.
Yeah.
And I commented, I was like, yeah, someone messaged me about like one of something that I wrote being AI because I like M dashes. Big
Mm-hmm.
fan of M dashes. Apparently, that's a big AI thing now. Maybe the AI scraped my M dashes from my work way back in the day. You don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's this giant witch hunt looking for indie authors that use AI. And like there's some indie authors that don't help the situation. Like there was something that was going around where an author left a chat GPT prompt in their book.
Really?
Yeah. Like I don't know remember exactly what the prompt like said, but it was like like can you rewrite this in the style of like this author? And it's like, okay, here's what that would sound like if you rewrote it in the style of this author. And then like they just left it in their book. They just copy pasted and then left it in there, which one is like it's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the very least, like if you're gonna do that, at least change the wording a little bit. Don't just copy paste. Not
Exactly.
that you should be doing it at all, but you didn't even edit your book. You didn't go like nobody told you. Like, did you have beta readers? I mean, shit. I have like a zero budget. I am like a zero budget indie author, and even I get beta readers.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me when people who are companies that are scamming people in their user agreement, they like copy and paste other user agreements from like Apple or something, and they put it into theirs. Like, well, no one's
Yep.
gonna read it, you know. So,
Yeah. No one's gonna read it. Who cares?
and it's funny because you're right about the witch hunt. As I said it in the pre-show, basically Eric and Armani are dealing with that when they post up their stuff on TikTok. Their animations that they make, because we make animations for Forbidden Origins to promote stuff, and I see comments, people are just like, this looks like AI, and it's like, no, they use tools, they use like Unreal, they use Blender, Daz, all that, and it gets frustrating. I think at this point they basically stopped responding to that. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but let's be for real. We say we like we have anything to do with that
Oh
process when
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
100% Armani sitting at his computer with his eyes bleeding as he teaches
yeah.
himself
I
Blender and
I only
Unreal
say
Engine.
we as like a company, like
It's the royal we.
yeah, yeah. He's the one over here fucking he's like rocking his kid while he's like fucking animating shit with one hand.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Like Armani is like slaving at his computer, like trying to create this stuff from scratch. Like he has like just teaching himself how to do it. And he gets all excited. And like we get to see it in our private originators chat. Like we see it before it ever hits TikTok. And he just gets so like giggly over that kind of stuff. And then like for people to come and be like, "Oh, like what AI generator you use for this?" Like that just it just fucking sucks. And I know there's a lot of creators that are very discouraged by that because they, you know, like right before we started recording, I was looking at my latest draft, my latest rough draft of Selenite,
uh-huh.
and I'm sitting here like bleeding onto the page, knowing that someone's gonna look at this thing and be like, "Oh, like AI." Like any mistake that I make, or if I'm too verbose, or I use this punctuation mark too much, like someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this was written by AI." and it just sucks because I know a lot of writers are getting discouraged by that.
I don't know, I feel like at this point it's like fuck that, whatever. You know, people think it's AI, they think it's AI. I think this whole like witch hunt mindset that the internet has for it's probably only gonna last for like maybe like another year, and then we'll be fine. I do think there should be some kind of legislation though about restricting the use of it because things like AI revenge porn is getting insane. That's some fucking
Hmm.
bullshit. You know, that's something that's dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
Not only that, like politically too. People can make like bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like make world leaders say things that they're not saying. So yeah.
Well, plus like using AI for that sort of thing, like like using it in your books, like that's bad. That's really hard to track though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I know there's those like quote unquote foolproof like AI detector things, which I actually tested out the other day.
Uh huh.
And I went into one of those. It was the free version of it,
Okay.
and I typed a completely like 100% original paragraph,
All
like
right.
just a bunch of bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
just like a piece of dialogue on something that I made up off the top of my head. Ran it through the AI detector, and it said it was like 72% AI generated. I was like, how? How could it possibly? I literally just typed it. Like I didn't even copy paste it from something. And like they're just notoriously unreliable. But you're absolutely right about the like the deep fake stuff. Like I know I think it was last year or the year before. I can't remember when those deep fakes of like Taylor Swift came out.
Oh yeah.
And luckily she's got, she's a billionaire and she's got some pretty good lawyers, and that shit got scrubbed from the internet quick.
Yeah, they found that dude. I think he got doxxed like real fucking
Yeah.
quick. I think he was bragging about it. I
Yeah,
think
you
he was bragging about it for like a minute, and then Taylor Swift was just like she like looked right at him and was like, "Oh shit." Um,
yeah,
but
that's one fandom you don't want to get on the wrong side of is the Swifties.
yeah, no, I'm good. Like I'll privately talk shit, but I'm never gonna say anything in public. Um, nah, dude.
Hey, listen, I'll say this, like Taylor Swift might not be my style of music, but she comes out with the occasional jam that I enjoy, and like I can't hate on her for, being a billionaire.
No, I
That's
get it.
like, well, I don't know. I don't know how many ethical billionaires there are, but
Fortnite with Post Malone is pretty fucking good. I really like that song. It's a good love song. So,
oh yeah, there you go.
but
But yeah, the you're right about like deepfakes being used to like make celebrities and world leaders and stuff like that like say and do things that they clearly like would not or should not be doing. Not only could it cause like international and national incidents, but it also just really doesn't help the whole fake news thing. Because then
no,
like when someone really does do something shitty, you don't know if it's AI or not. Like, I don't know, did so and so really say that? Or like, there's no way that this person would have said that,
yeah, if
but they did.
someone really hates you, they could totally just take a bunch of pictures of you, some video of you, and then make you say something that you never would say.
I actually just watched a movie where that happened. It was called Afraid, and it was about an AI that is put into this family's house as like a sort of like a beta test, and Aya, that's the name of the AI, like she's very intuitive, like super helpful, all the stuff that you would hope that a home AI would be. But then like the oldest daughter, like I don't know if it's a boyfriend or just a guy that she's into, she sends him some news of herself.
Uh huh.
And then he runs it through a deep fake thing, and it like blasts her like it you know shows video of her doing some very scandalous things.
Yeah.
And she's 17 years old, and it like ruins her reputation. And like it's just crazy that that's like we're not that far away from it. We're not that far away from that sort of stuff happening.
I mean, there's an argument to be made that it's already here. Fucking my friend was telling me that he was on some spicier sites and that he's seen some like the ads on the bottom of the website. They're like, oh, you can take a picture and you can put it in here and we'll like make the person in the picture nude, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, that shit's wild. And then you know what else is concerning to me personally is the use of AI in academics and how a lot of people are using it to graduate their college or high school by using AI to like write their thesis or write their papers. And I think that's gonna really fuck us in 10 to 15 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's even going to take that long. I mean, not only is it an unethical thing to do, like you're really not helping yourself. You're not learning anything by not doing it
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and it's going to start like devaluing like education in general, like higher education in general. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of that already going on with higher education because like our my entire generation of millennials were told like all you have to do is go to college and get a degree and then you're going to be set for life, and that's just 100% not true for most millennials.
Yeah.
Instead, we have like tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt. We're working the same kinds of jobs. But like not being able to trust in the education system and the people that have these degrees to actually know what they're doing is going to be detrimental for the country as a whole.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to trust doctors that are around my age in like 10 years because I've been hearing a lot of stories about like people who are training to become doctors using fucking AI for their shit. And I'm not.
See, at the very least with doctors, like I know there's doctors they have to get hands-on education as well as like in the classroom education.
Mhm.
And there's a reason that it takes a long time. And but there's still like other positions, like I don't know if they're strict on architects. Like, do I want an architect that, used AI to write their thesis on structural integrity of buildings? I don't know what architects write their theses on, if anything, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean because I work
But
in a I work in a in a market, right? And 4 or 5 people I know there, they're graduating high school and they're like, yeah, I didn't even study. I just used ChatGPT on everything. Um, and I fucking passed my classes. And I'm like, really? They're like, yeah. Like, I told them like, but have you read a ChatGPT paper? Half the time, like, it's fucking shit. And they're like, oh no, yeah, we use ChatGPT and then we get in there and like make corrections and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, but that's still, man, whatever. I'm not gonna say anything. You do what you gotta do, but fuck, like, it's
and,
just
and what does
no.
that tell you about the discernment of teachers? Like can you not tell that this D student is all of a sudden turning in an A paper? Like, does that not seem sus to you? Don't get me wrong, I was one of those students,
Well, it's
but that was
funny.
mostly because I didn't do homework.
It's funny because from what I've been hearing, because my mom, she's in education. She works for the school district that I went to school to. She says that now they're starting to implement programs to be able to detect it. But like you said, some of those tools they're not that great. You know.
They're they're unreliable and they're gonna get worse because the way that their algorithms are being educated is by scraping data. They're scraping real human stuff, and it's just gonna get better. It's gonna get more intuitive and it's gonna sound more like a person.
Mhm. I think, in my opinion, the only way really to maybe get around this is to stop using online whatever they use to turn in stuff, make it all pen and paper. Um,
Yeah,
but then
go
again,
go old school.
yeah, but then again, some there it's gonna be one of those things where
Typewriters. Typewriters.
even if they did that, right? I could totally see these kids still using ChatGPT to get it on their screen and then like copy it by just writing it themselves. You know?
See, I think like the biggest problem that I have with the argument between whether or not we should be using like generative AI and like what should it be used for and what shouldn't it be used for. It all takes place on a very person to person kind of level. Like it's two people having a discussion and having a disagreement about whether or not it should be used and how it should be used. When it needs to happen on an institutional level, the company that owns the algorithm, like you are the people that like generate this thing, you're the ones that need to have regulations put on you so that it can be used ethically, and there needs to be limits put on it. Like you can train the AI to not do certain things because like I can't do that because it's literally against the law.
Yeah. No, I agree. Sorry, dude. Something's going on with my camera, but I'm still here.
That's all right.
If you want to turn it off, go ahead.
No, you're fine. But like that's the thing is like this needs to be happening on an institutional level. The companies that are like running these programs, and that's not going to happen because the companies that are running these programs are all multi-billion dollar, multi-million dollar companies that, just pay off the politicians, you know, getting into political corruption and all of that kind of stuff. Like, who's going to stop Zuckerberg from doing what he wants to do?
Yeah, no one's gonna fucking do that. That's what's sad. So no, but AI,
Didn't
I
they?
think. Sorry, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, didn't they recently try to do something like an antitrust or an anti-monopoly thing against the Zuck? I don't remember.
I think they did, but I don't know if it went through or not.
I don't think it probably did. Anyway, you were saying?
No, I just think something needs to be passed to limit AI. Because it's gonna. I think what it's gonna take causing an international incident for something to happen. You know, because I don't think they're taking it as
I mean,
seriously
it's
as they
gonna,
should.
yeah, it's gonna have to be an international incident because I mean, even some of the shit that the AI generated videos have done recently, like what was it? It was a couple months ago. I think somebody hacked the Department of the Interior or the Department of Treasury or something, and put up an AI generated video of I think it was Trump licking Elon's feet.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you
yes,
saw that.
I've
Yeah,
seen that.
I mean, granted, it definitely looked AI generated, but I mean, shit. With this administration, I'm surprised they didn't pass an executive order like the next day.
Yeah, that's like the one. I feel like Trump's such a dumbass that you could like unintentionally make him do good by fucking with him personally. Um,
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. That this shit needs to fucking get regulated. This is like one of the few things where I'm like, this needs to get something done because it's gonna ruin the planet long term. So
yeah, in more ways than one. And like I think AI can be a good tool if used properly, but I don't want AI to be so much in the creative sphere. I don't need AI art. I don't need AI books.
mm-hmm.
I don't need AI movies. I want AI to do other things so that like it doesn't cost people as much money to live and we can all get different jobs doing different things. Like it was I mean back when I drove a truck there was a rise of like fears that like human truck drivers were going to be obsolete in like 10 years because self-driving trucks were going to be a thing, but like that they said it was going to happen in like 5 years and that was like 10 years ago. um, but like I don't want anybody to lose their jobs because of AI, but I think there's jobs that are replaceable without displacing like the labor force or at least giving them an opportunity to re-educate and learn how to do other things. And that's where it comes into like automation and AI is a danger because you could displace the entire economy if you don't do it correctly and you don't do it slowly. And a problem with a lot of these companies is they do everything too fast. They move fast and they break things and they don't think about the consequences. We saw that, um, with the current administration. You've got a CEO, a former CEO, who's in charge, who's president of the country, that was using another multi-billionaire CEO to come in and try to like quote unquote like fix the government, and they ended up breaking a bunch of shit. Firing air traffic controllers and like the people who babysat nuclear missiles and things like that, and those are bad things. Like you can't just go around do that. And like these are the same kinds of people that are running AI and trying to just like force it down our throats. Like everything's got AI in it now. It's crazy.
yeah, whenever I Google shit now, it's an AI overview that compiles a bunch of information, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I mean, I understand the convenience, but at the same time, I wanted to look this up myself. You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I miss the days when AI was just used to like there's like a funny website that YouTubers would go on to like chat with, like chat bots. I miss when it was
Yeah.
just that shit, man. It's way too. It's not cool, man. You know what it is too? It's not even cool. In Halo, it was fucking cool, like seeing Cortana, you know. But now it's just fucking lame.
Oh yeah.
I think that's also what pisses me off is that it's fucking lame. So
Yeah, it's just it's gotten so bad and so prevalent. They're trying to jam pack AI into everything. Have you heard that Amazon now has AI narration options for self-published books?
no, I didn't.
Oh my god, yeah, I got an email about it because I'm a self-published author on Amazon, and, like, I can go to, like, my Amazon bookshelf, and they're like, "Hey, you can use AI narration for this." And I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. If I'm gonna have an audiobook, goddammit, I'm gonna pay good money for it, and I'm gonna get a narrator that is a human." Because voice acting is acting. It's a creative process, and that's what I want. I don't want a robot to read my book.
Yeah, nah,
If I'm gonna go so far as to have a robot read my book, I'm just gonna do it myself. And I do a terrible girl voice, so you know that's it's not gonna be good.
fuck, man. This is getting nuts. I think. You know what's funny? I think. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Actually, I did hear about this. I know someone who actually reads. Like there's part of their side time hustle. Their side hustle is to like read, voice act for books like that. And they were telling me about this, and they're like, man, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, it's just you're taking yeah, yet again, you're taking like a large company is taking away creative work from actual humans because it's quote unquote easier to use AI, even though it's overall a shittier product. And don't get me wrong, I've never listened to one of these AI books. It could be very well done, but I'm not going to buy a book that uses AI narration to see what it sounds like because I'm not going to even tertiarily support that.
No, I've listened to some of these AI voices, like the narrations on YouTube, and it's just not the same. There's just a weird monotone to it, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean you hear it on YouTube all the time. Like especially with those like we watch like spooky story like compilation videos and like clip shows and all this, and you can tell when they're using AI as opposed to a real voice because there's a certain inflection to it, and like it's a like a clipped quality to the words, and then they mispronounce the same words every time. Like, why are you mispronouncing that word? That's a dead giveaway.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean all is lost because if we continue like there's going to be people that continue to use AI to write their books, to create movies, to create shows. As long as it exists, it's going to happen. All we can do is like be aware of like the tells, um, which happens a lot more in video than it does like in text.
Yeah.
But be aware of the tells and try not to support that. But you also have to tread that line very carefully and like not accuse somebody without good evidence that there's AI use happening. Because just because AI is bad, like it's almost like innocent until proven guilty. I would rather like 10 AI authors like get through unscathed than to accuse one hardworking indie author of a wrongdoing when they did nothing wrong.
No, that's understandable, and I totally agree with what you're saying. Um, do you think people in the '50s thought we'd get to this point with AI?
No. I think people in the 50s, like if you were to like time travel someone from the 50s to present day, I I don't think they would survive.
What we
I
gotta
mean,
do?
if you took someone from the if you took someone from the 1800s, like if you brought a small Victorian child from the 1800s, he would die of consumption on the spot.
Oh my god, they would think it's magic too.
Yeah, they would. But yeah, someone from the 50s. I mean, there's people that lived in the 50s that are still alive today, so I guess we can't really say that. I mean, most of them are in politics, so
That's true. That's true.
I mean, how many Democrats have to die in office this year before they get the picture?
you know, it's I don't know, man. It's just I can't get over the fact that it's just fucking lame. We're living in the lamest Black Mirror episode ever.
I know it is. It's so bad. I always imagined the apocalypse would be way cooler than this, and this is just dumb. Just dumb.
Yeah, we got a
Like if
dumbass
we
in
if
office. Sorry, go
if
ahead.
I was gonna live underneath an evil overlord, I at least thought they would be like a cackling, snidely whiplash, mustache twirling bastard, and not this fucking orange Oompa Loompa Cheeto wannabe. Like it's just so bad.
Yeah, there was that maniacal despot in the 40s that we went to war with. Like, at least that was interesting. This is just stupid. This is just fucking
Yeah, this is
stupid.
just stupid. And it's the same amount of evil too. That's the shitty part. It hasn't quite gotten as bad as Mustache Man, but holy shit, like it's just bad.
Yeah, someone said that, like,
It's
at least those Germans were competent. This is just fucking stupid, man. This is insane. Like, you know?
that's really my only hope for the next 4 years is that I mean, like I don't know, like I watch way too much politics, but like watching like the former my former South Dakota governor and now like Secretary of Homeland Defense or Homeland Security uh saying that habeas corpus is a constitutional right by the president to deport people. Like, nope, that's wrong. You
It,
idiot.
that's totally wrong.
Like, how could you be more wrong? I don't know how you could be more wrong. And like, that's my only hope for the next 4 years is that the one lesson that Trump has learned from his first administration is he doesn't want to surround himself with competent people. He wants to surround himself with ass kissers, and he has
Exactly.
done so with flying colors. But because of that, like he's surrounded himself by incompetent ass kissers.
Yep.
And I'm just hoping that they're so incompetent that they don't get anything horrible done because they just don't know what they're doing. And like it's happening. Like there's still don't get me wrong, like he has still passed legislation that is going to hurt the country, that is currently hurting people,
Hmm.
and that's going to hurt people. Like it's gonna happen. He's just doing too much shit for some stuff not to slip through and cause like irreparable harm that's gonna take decades to get over. But I'm hoping that he can't do what I believe that he wants to do and become a despot because he just doesn't know how to get it done. He's used to being the CEO and when what he says goes,
Yep.
and it just doesn't work that way. If we can, I think if we make it to like the midterm elections, like we have a chance.
Hmm.
If the Democrats could stop dying in office, that would also be good. And I don't even like the Democrats either, but shit. Like, come on, guys.
Me either. And I look at the Democrats and I'm like, you guys are fucking pussies, man. This is getting ridiculous. Fucking stand up and do something. You know. I
Yeah,
mean,
like when Chuck Schumer said, like, we sent a very strongly worded letter to the Trump administration. I was like, strongly worded letter? Is that it? I'm sorry. Like, I don't think like that's something that like a homeowners association does.
that pissed me off too. I'm like, oh, that's gonna work. All right, cool. Thank you. Fuck.
It's just nuts. And like the mainstream media is not really helping the situation because you got the two sides of it, and there's definitely sides to it now.
Hmm.
You've got the right wing side of things, which all they do is suck dick,
Hmm.
which is fine. They've been doing that for years. It's no shocker. It's just their hypocrisy knows no bounds now, and it's not even like they're not even hiding it anymore.
Yeah.
But like the other side, the side that tries to remain neutral or like leans to the left, they don't hit quite hard enough. Now there are some of them, like there are some pundits that will hit hard, but I get people that hit way harder like on TikTok than I do in the mainstream media because they're afraid.
Hmm.
And honestly for good reason because like the administration has shown that they're not afraid to retaliate, which
Right.
is a constitutional crisis, but nobody's doing anything about it.
Eventually, though, someone's gonna pull a Mario. You know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Speaking of which, like it's been a long time since I heard anything about where's like Luigi is missing. Like what happened with all that? It hasn't been reported on in a very, very long time.
I think wasn't his trial going on?
I don't know. The last I heard was that he had a hearing. That was it. But I think they stopped reporting on it because like they saw like everybody in the country on the left and on the right being like, "Yeah, we're okay. It's fine. We're not even mad."
Yeah, no, everyone was celebrating. I think that's what really
Like
what really
that's the first time that's the first time I've seen the country so unified since 9/11 happened. Like
yeah,
I did not see anybody shedding any tears
yeah, no,
except for
everybody was
CEOs.
yeah, dude, did you see that after he did that that every single major like company basically took their CEO off their website?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
man.
mean, like I work for a relatively small large company. Like I don't work for like a Facebook or a Meta or an Amazon or anything like that. But like even like I think and I don't know because I haven't worked for the company for long enough, but I think that our CEO had a tradition of like going around to like all of the various different um like shops around the country and
Uh-huh.
instead we got a video message this year.
Oh my god. That is hilarious. I still think um stopping at one wasn't enough. We needed to get more of them. Um but I mean, I don't know, someone's got to have the balls to do it, but it is what it is. So
Well, I mean that's the thing. I mean, I hate the that we've gotten to the point where so many people believe that violence is the answer. Like, I mean, how many people do I see or have you seen these days that are like it's feeling very like 1840s French up in here?
yeah, but I grew up. My dad taught me a saying that some people only learn the hard way, and
Yeah. I mean, that's
some
true.
some people only learn through violence. Like, but that's how bullies learn. You know, you can't talk to some people.
That is how bullies learn.
There's a point where talking kind of goes out the window, and sometimes you have to fight back, and you have to fight back like violently. You know, um, and it sucks because I don't like fighting either. I mean, I've done it. I'd rather talk my way out of things nowadays. But younger me would have been all like, "Yeah, let me get a baseball bat." But it's just
I,
it sucks, you know.
yeah, I mean, younger me was a staunch anarchist,
Hmm.
and I was always told that the older you get, the more right wing that you're going to the more conservative you're going to end up being. And you know what? For a little while there, I started to be a lot more conservative than I am right now. And then this weird thing happened in 2016. I can't really put my finger on it, and I went way hard the other way.
Yeah, I think
I
that
was like, nope,
saying only
this ain't it.
works. That saying really only worked in maybe the '80s and '90s, and um, when social media wasn't as big of a thing. When it wasn't a thing, I mean. But now with social media, people could see, yeah, no, the world's kind of fucked. We need to do something about it. Fuck conservatism, because they
Yeah.
don't do shit. They don't do anything. They don't
Well,
conserve
like
anything.
I was I was raised on like the Republican Party being the party of small government, of non-interference, of like, letting people live and let live
Hmm.
and trying to spend as little money as possible, being fiscally conservative. And like I was okay with that. Then as I got older, a lot more like social issues are brought into it, like abortion and gay marriage and all this other kind of stuff. And like I didn't I didn't care about those things. Like like if somebody if two dudes wanted to get married or two girls wanted to get married, I didn't care. It didn't bother me. I saw no reason for them to not do it.
Yeah.
And like as far as abortion, like that's I was very much a pro-choice, and that is your body, and therefore it is your choice. It should not be up to the government.
Yeah.
I might not personally agree with it, but it's also not my fetus. It's not my body. I have no say in the matter.
Hmm.
And I didn't vote on those issues. I voted on other issues. Now that doesn't mean that my vote didn't go to people who were taking away those rights, but that wasn't the reason I was doing it. I'm not excusing that. I was ill informed and didn't realize the implications of it back then, but it doesn't matter because anytime I voted for a Republican president, they lost anyway. So I mean, they ran against Obama. You can't beat that guy. and I liked Obama.
Yeah, I I wasn't
But I
old enough to
mean,
vote for
John,
Obama, but yeah.
I mean, the first time I ever voted for a Democratic candidate was when Joe Biden ran against Trump the first time.
Uh huh.
Just because, like in 2016, I was a registered Republican and I
Hmm.
refused to vote for Donald Trump. I
Hmm.
absolutely refused because I came back like I had been traveling the world and like watching the news. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like this is the guy. Like you got to be kidding me! Like don't I didn't like Ted Cruz either. Like the Republican options were not great in my opinion, but Donald Trump was the worst one. And then like Hillary Clinton, um, don't really care for her as a more educated adult.
Same.
But I had also been raised that the Clinton family were like demons almost. So like I still wasn't enough out of the conservative headspace to like, stomach a vote for her. So I just didn't vote. It's the first time I didn't vote for president at all since being able to vote for president. And then 2020 rolled around and I was like, I cannot afford to not vote this time.
Yeah. Donald Trump is the reason why I didn't end up joining the Marine Corps like I was originally planning to out of high school. Um,
Oh yeah?
yeah, I still remember seeing that video of him coming down the fucking escalator to announce his presidency, his presidential run. And at that point, I was getting ready to I was talking with the recruiter, doing all this shit, getting the paperwork done, and I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I don't think I could do that, right? Because something told me that he
Yeah.
might actually win. Because even back then, given that Hillary was like the big front runner for the Democrats, I was like, she's not gonna win because Americans won't. They will not vote in a woman. I mean, we saw it
No.
again, you know. But it's just, I don't know. I was really politically savvy back when I was in high school, and I kind of had a feeling I knew about how like Americans would vote. And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. I didn't want to fight under Trump, potentially fight under Trump. It's just I didn't want to serve
Yeah.
under Trump.
I mean, that's fair.
So
See, when I signed up for the Marine Corps, it was under the Bush administration, and it was still very much like the post 9/11 world.
yeah.
And I was part of that group of people that went like, I'm going to go fight for our country because that's what I believed in at the time.
Hmm.
Little did I know the truth of things,
Hmm.
but it all worked out because I got a medical discharge from training anyway. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't have made a very good Marine. I wouldn't have been. I was a terrible recruit. I wouldn't have been a good Marine. But yeah, like that's it's changed so much, and it's so weird for me, like growing up in a very conservative mindset, to see what conservatives have become, and knowing like back in the day, like the conservatives that I grew up knowing should be against all of this, but they're not, and I don't know what happened to them. Like I don't know what happened to them. Like it's just crazy to me. Like Trump has done so many things that would end a president's like campaign, end their presidential run, get them impeached, or like get them like thrust out from society. Like I mean, what was his name? Howard Dean, he made a weird sound like at a campaign rally and it just shot his entire presidential run. Like that was it. He made a weird sound and that was it for him. Or what was his name? Walter Mondale, there was the video of him like cosplaying as a soldier and riding around in a tank and it killed his entire presidential run. And like Trump has done so much worse stuff and he's the president for the second time. It's exhausting.
Well, it tells me that a lot of quote unquote Christians aren't really Christians, because the man
They are.
he's a convicted rapist. So
Yeah. He's not convicted. He's legally liable. He was convicted of 34 counts of various different tax fraud. He is a convicted felon.
yeah,
No, and that's the thing is like the American church has been like co-opted by the Republican Party, and like all the things they like I was taught growing up as a Christian, they don't actually believe in.
yeah,
Like they're all about like, oh, man should not lie with a man, but when it comes to feeding the poor, they say fuck that, let them starve to death. Oh yeah, put barbed wire up at the border. let's put razor wire in the Rio Grande so that when people swim into it, they get tangled up and drowned. Like that's cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are showing your true colors. Jesus would be ashamed of you.
Yeah, most of these people are gonna go to hell, and it's gonna be funny when they see the reaction to it. Um, so yeah. On that note, you want to cut it off right here?
Yes, yes, this episode was a little depressing, but it's all needed conversation to have. Like
True.
the more we can kind of bring this kind of stuff to light and have conversations about it, the more visibility it'll have. And granted, we don't have a large podcast with a lot of listeners, but if even one person listens to it and like, you know, feels enlightened or has questions and wants to know more, like there's resources out there. Make sure you check your resources on things.
Hmm.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories and there's a lot of like false information out there on both sides of the political spectrum. Like just make sure that you're confirming what you're reading before you start jumping all over it. And
Exactly.
keep an eye out for AI, but before you start accusing like artists of using AI, especially indie artists, like we work really hard. Like don't accuse us of using AI unless you're like damn well 100% sure, because it's very disheartening to be accused of using AI when you're spending what little bit of free time you have, you know, pouring yourself onto pages and trying to write a good story.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been season 3, episode 2. I'm Noah, joined by Luke. See you guys later.
Have a good night.